All right, this is version 2. If you saw the first one, you already know what we're doing here. But this one has a totally different feel. And now I'm really curious. Is this one better than the first? Let's see how it turns out. So I use some chalk paint, and it is called, you guessed it, Kiki, Spanish moss. And I did both sides, so I just had to sand it a little bit. The wood was actually very, very dry, so it kind of soaked it in really fast, which worked out better for me because I didn't want it to be like so solid, because I don't think that's a good distressed look then, and that's kind of always what I go for because that's my thing. So yeah, I did both sides here. I let them dry overnight in between coats. I just did one coat each, but I meant in between sides. Then I sanded down the front to distress the sides because it did come out pretty, it's a pretty green, but it just came out too pretty for me, if that makes sense. I don't know. Anyway, I just went and sanded down, distressed it up, some corners more than others. Wipe it down. These were fun to make. And the mason jar, actually, if you guys watched the first video, you know that the horseshoe came from my house when I bought it. I found it. Well, I found all these mason jars in the basement as well. So that's kind of cool. And I'm just sanding it. I don't know why I showed you so much of this, but y'all know how to sand. So I just sanded down to where I liked it, basically. Then I'm just measuring to put the hooks on, because I didn't want to put a hole like cutting boards have. Sometimes they have that hole in the handle. I didn't want to do that, so I just used those clips, or I don't know what they're called. They're to hang pictures and stuff. So I just measured it so that it will hang on the wall straight. And I have those ones where you just hammer them in. It's pretty cool. You don't have to use any screws or anything. They're just little grippers and you just hammer it right in. Works pretty cool. So then I got an extra piece of wood because I have to use the drill now. And so there's the mason jar. That is actually a hose clamp, and you can get it right like in the plumbing section. I think I got that one at Menards, but actually I end up not using that one in the end because it is way too big. Even after I cut it down, it was still too big, and the whole using tools here was just giving me trouble today. I had a hard time getting it screwed in. Then I had to get a different screw. It was just like, it's a whole thing. You see, I kind of was having trouble, so I thought, well, I'm gonna screw it in. Well, then I looked at the screw and it wasn't even like the whole top part was not the screw part, so I just had to go find a different one. But first I thought maybe my hole wasn't big enough. That wasn't it either. Trial and error sometimes, I guess. At this point, I was really feeling like I sucked at this. Finally, this is, I think, where I looked at the screw and I went, what in the world? Yeah, I went downstairs and found a different screw. So that's a different one. and it finally went in. And then I thought, this is going to take me 17 years to try to tighten. So I cut it. So that it wasn't as long to screw in. And then this is when I realized, well, the darn thing doesn't fit anyway. So back to the hardware store I go, finding a smaller one. Yeah, see? But then I don't know what happened to the footage. You can see that I added some twine there on the top of it. I don't know what happened to that footage, to be honest with you, but you all know how to put twine on it. And I just distressed it some more because once I had it on, I thought it was still a little bit too dark. And then I got some dried flowers, and of course I used the hairspray to keep them in there good, or from falling apart or whatever. And then I put some Spanish moss on the bottom because I thought it just looked kind of crafty and I wanted it to look more intentional. I guess I always say that, but once I got that in there, I thought it looked nicer. And then I realized I think I put that mason jar up a little bit too high. So I got out the Cricut and I made the word gather. And I thought it fit nicely on the bottom there. I just measured it kind of to make sure that it wasn't like way off. And then of course I just spray the whole thing with matte spray. I think that if I were to do this again though, I would get some matte vinyl, not the shiny stuff. But now I need you to decide, version 1 or version 2. Let me know in the comments which one you would actually buy. And don't forget, I've got one more version coming, and it might end up being my favorite. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.